Hare Krishna, everyone. It's so wonderful warm here. Outside is so cold. This is Krishna's mercy. So we have gathered here for another auspicious day for us in our life, that we have this opportunity to read and hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the glories of Krishna and his devotees, his dealings. And today is very appropriate verse that it can give us the little glimpse that how unlimited glories of Krishna are. And even if we can have a drop of little understanding, a little attention and little attachment for those glories, then our life is successful, especially this human form of life. So let us continue. We offer our prayers to Srila Prabhupada and all the Guru Parampara, that we can take these blessings seriously and sincerely. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Privajakacarya Stuta Shri Srimati Devankrishna Shagudev ki Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Privajakacarya Stuta Shri Srimati Devankrishna A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, ISKCON and BBD Founder-Acharya Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Privajakacarya Stuta Shri Srimati Devankrishna Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. अनंत गुरे वैष्णव की जय, नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, श्री गोस्वामी की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिना श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, श्री मायापुर धाम की जय, श्री नवदीप धाम की जय, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा मैया की जय, यमुना मैया की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, श्याम वेत भक्त वृंद की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you are visiting today? Or Canberra? Very good. Thank you. Nice to see you here. So today is 15th of July. It's Monday. And here we are on Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Withdrawal of Cosmic Creation. And Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is the demigods appeal to the Lord. And today we are continuing the verse 6. So yesterday, Prabhuji covered many verses. I think we jumped from last chapter straight into this chapter because there were no purports. And now we are on verse 6. So let us continue. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 8, Chapter 5, verse 6. Tasya anubhava katitaha gunaha cha parama udyaya bhauman renun saha vimame yaha Vishnu varnayet gunana tasyanubhava kathito gunascha paramodaya bhaumam renu savimame yo Vishnor varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhauman renu sa vimame yo Vishnor varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhaumam renu cha vimame yo Vishnor varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhaumam renu cha vimame yo Vishnu varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhaumam renu cha vimame yo Vishnu varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhaumam renu cha vimame yo Vishnu varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhauman renu cha vimame yo Vishnu varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhaumam renu cha vimame yo Vishnu varnayet gunan tasyanubhava katito gunacha paramodaya bhaumam renu cha vimame yo Vishnu varnayet gunan tasya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead appearing as Vaikuntha anubhava great activities kathitaha were explained guna transcendental qualities cha also param udyaya greatly glorious bhuman earthly renun particles saha someone vimame can count yaha such a person Vishnu of Lord Vishnu varnayet can count gunan the transcendent qualities. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Prabhupada and all Guru Parampara. Although the great activities and transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's various incarnations are wonderfully described, sometimes we are unable to understand them. Yet, everything is possible for Lord Vishnu. If one could count the atoms of the universe, then he could count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But no one can count the atoms of the universe, nor can anyone count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Responsibility, purport, translation. Although the great activities and transcendental qualities, you can repeat after me, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's various incarnations are wonderfully described. Sometimes we are unable to understand them. Yet, everything is possible for Lord Vishnu. If one could count the atoms of the universe, then he could count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But no one can count the atoms of the universe, nor can anyone count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Purport. The Lord's glorious activities referred to in this connection took place after his personal bodyguards, Jai and Vijay, became Daityas, having been cursed by the great sages Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar and Sanandan. Jai, as Hiranyaksh, had to fight with Varahadev, and that same Varahadev is mentioned in regard to the Revat millennium. The fighting, however, took place during the reign of the first Manu, Swayambhu. Therefore, according to some authorities, there are two Varahas. According to others, however, Varaha appeared during the regime of Swayambhu Manu and stayed in the water until that of Revat Manu. Some may doubt that this could be possible, but the answer is that everything is possible. If one could count the atoms within the universe, one could count the qualities of Lord Vishnu. But the atoms of the universe are impossible for anyone to count, and similarly, no one can count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Om Ajnana Timantasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvitam Yena Tashmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamitamasya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagadapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Darubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, although the great activities and transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's various incarnations are wonderfully described, where they are described? They are described in the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and of course the devotees, they describe. Sometimes we are unable to understand them, yet everything is possible for Lord Vishnu. If one could count the atoms of the universe, then he could count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
But no one can count the atoms of the universe, nor can anyone count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. So here we are on the 8th canto. So far we have covered 7 cantos, and just recently, yesterday, we jumped from 7th canto to 8th canto. Oh, sorry, not yesterday. Yesterday we jumped from chapter. Recently. So, the different incarnations are described in pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Especially if we read very nicely, Canto 1, Canto 2, Canto 3, very nicely describes in the beginning the pastimes of Lord, the incarnations of the Lord. It gives a detailed description of the various incarnations they appear, the categories of incarnations. We have so many different categories of incarnations. We can consider that Krishna appears for a different purpose, and that's what he says in Bhagavad Gita. What he says, Paritranaya sadhuna vinachaya taduskritinam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He appears. Of course, it is translated millennium after millennium, but then we can see he appears. In that sense, every second for a devotee, for a specific, for a reciprocation. And recently we see in the last chapter that he appeared for Gajendra. He appeared, he ran to save him. 1,000 years Gajendra fought with that crocodile. And then he realized, and that's what happens to us as well. We should realize. Yesterday there was in the end it was said that we don't have to wait for 1,000 years. But for us, we have to realize within these 100 years that I have been struggling so hard in this life and previous lives that now please Lord come, appear in my heart, appear in form of this Guru Parampara and save me. And that's what happened to Gajendra, that Krishna saved him. And we also hear so many times, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and so many other incarnations are there. Krishna saved so many different devotees through his different incarnations. What are the categories of incarnations? We can see 6 categories, in highly. So that is, one is Purusha incarnations, or Purusha avtaras. And then we have Leela avtaras. Then we have Guna avtaras. Then we have Manvantara avtaras. Then we have Yuga avtaras. And we have Saktivesha avatar. So Krishna appears through different incarnations to do what? To get the reciprocation with the devotees, to save them and to annihilate the demons. And we see that here Gajendra was in the jaw of crocodile. And similarly, Prahlad Maharaj was harassed by his father, Hiranyakashipu. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has given that the Lord's glorious activities referred in this connection took place after his personal bodyguards, Jaya and Vijay, became Daityas, having been cursed by great sages, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar and Sanandan. And that is Hiranyaksh. We're starting with Hiranyaksh. So, of course, if you do some research, then you would come across the different authorities. They said 2 different incarnations of Lord Varaha. So first, he appeared in the first Manvantara, that is Swayambhu Manu. So Swayambhu Manu during that time. So what happened is, now Brahmaji, now he got the mission that in the service, as a reciprocation to service to Lord, as a service, he will populate this creation with the living entities. And he will give them the chance so that they will come out from this material existence. For that, he needed to populate. So then, he considered, okay, there is a couple, that the couple came out, that is Swayambhu Manu and his wife. So, but then the mission is given to them, service is given to them, that okay, you populate this planetary system, that is this Bhulok. But then they came here, they see, oh, there is no planetary system, like a Bhulok is not there. So they went back to Brahmaji. Brahmaji is thinking, what happened? And then meanwhile, the Lord, he appeared as a tiny living entity through his nostril. And as he came out, he took the big, gigantic form that is boar. And that is Varaha avatar. And then he went, and then he roared like anything, so that the Brahmaji and all the devotees who were assembled, like a devatas, they understood that, oh, this is Lord. He is appearing for a specific purpose. And what was the purpose? He went down in the Garbhodak ocean, and then he lifted the Bhumandala. He lifted the whole Bhumandala. Bring out. So that happened. And then some, they say that now the same Varaha, he stayed there in the Garbhodak ocean. He wanted some peaceful time. So, and then in the 6th Manvantara, so one Manu lives 71 yugas. That is 71, what's that called? 71? Divya Yuga. Yes, thank you. 71 Divya Yuga. Now consider that this is 6th Manu. So 6th Manu here is described as Revat. So the same Lord, then again he appeared, because now the demon Hiranyaksh, so what happened is Jaya and Vijay, they are the bodyguards. Here it is mentioned, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned them as a bodyguard. Bodyguard means they are standing outside. We see on Swanson Street, many people standing outside on the door for the protection. So Jaya and Vijay, they are standing outside, and then Kumaras came, and then there is a whole pastime that Kumaras, they wanted to get in. Jaya Vijay says, no, please, you can't. They say, okay, we will curse you, that you go down. And then there was a mutual agreement that, okay, you will go down for 3 lives. So then, one of them, whether it's a Jai or Vijay, I don't remember, but one of them became Hiranyaksh. Basically, they are brothers, Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyaksh came, and now he's so powerful, because consider, they are the bodyguards, they have so much power, they're coming from a spiritual world, and that is as a, we come here for our own purpose, and that means we lose the potency. We don't have much strength, but they are coming down for a specific purpose because of a specific reason. So then, they have so much power, and they went all over the whole universe, they are looking for someone who can fight with them. And Hiranyaksh, he was roaming around, and then Narada Muni, he met him. So actually, of course, the story is in further detail, but then finally it was said to him that, oh, you approach Lord, only he can fight with him. Oh, where is the Lord? Oh, he is in Garbhodak ocean, you go. So he had the darshan of Varahade. And then he actually challenged that you fight with me. And then they fought, and then he killed him. Of course, it is said that Hiranyaksh, he took the earth, this Bhu-lok. We have a Bhumandal, and then we have Bhu-lok, that is this planet Earth, round shape. He took it down. And then Varahade, this time Varahade saved this planet Earth. Of course, you can do research, you can read through. So then, here it is mentioned that similarly, there are so many incarnations we can go through, but then what's the point? Are we here to count Lord's incarnations? Can we really do that? No. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna as well, that what we hear in chapter 10, the opulence of Lord, and verse 40, 41 and 42, what he says, O mighty conqueror of enemies, that is, he is speaking to Arjuna, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Krishna has infinite opulences. We cannot count. And that applies to everything. Like we hear like 6 categories. Like if someone claims to be a god, then he has to complete these 6 categories in full. That is beauty, then wisdom, opulence, strength, etc. So, but here Krishna says these opulences are infinite. They are like we cannot count. So here he says, and then 41, verse 41 Bhagavad Gita, know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creation spring from but a spark of my splendor. It comes. Then he says further in 42, but what need is there, Arjun, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So consider this, with a single fragment. So for us as a devotees, aspiring devotees, all we can understand is we take his shelter, we understand how much insignificant, tiny we are in comparison to Lord, and whatever little we can comprehend with our own capacity, in a prayerful mood, praying to their mercy, we can comprehend, we take the advantage. And we move on. We constantly hear. We don't think that, oh, today I will count. When I was coming down, I was listening the lecture, and it was said that even Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, because, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva has a power to destroy everything. Even if he destroys everything, the whole universe, and make it like a small particles, then even he himself can't count. So consider that, how much we can count. And also we hear that Ananta Shesh, who is holding this whole universe, especially this, if you can say, Bhumandala, on his hood, if he can go on recite Lord's glories with his thousands and thousands of mouths, then we can't finish his glories. He can't finish his glories. So similarly, Canto 1, Chapter 3 explains Krishna is source of all incarnations. And then we can consider the analogy. The analogy is given. Here Srila Prabhupada has mentioned the wonderful analogy, that is atoms. In the universe, how many atoms are there? Similarly, in the Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse 37, 38, the analogy is given, verse 26, analogy is given of rivers entering into the ocean. So many rivers are entering into the ocean, and still ocean is like always complete in the sense. So similarly, here we have so many incarnations of Lord. If we can count each and every incarnations, then also we will not be able to. At the same time, Krishna as the source of incarnations, he is complete. Then that verse also says about the foolishness. If one attempts to go on that research path, if one attempts that, okay, I want to understand and I will count, I will take this as a challenge, I will count. Then here it is mentioned that the foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of forms, names and activities of the Lord, who is playing like an actor in drama. He is playing like an actor in drama. Nor can they express such things, neither in their speculations nor in their words. So we are not here to count Lord's glories. We are here to hear and appreciate Lord's glories. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, it gives the detailed understanding of Lord's incarnations, not in the sense as a research perspective. Rather, it gives us the understanding from a devotional perspective. That yes, you know this much, that is also sufficient for you. And that is why this verse specifically mentions that if one could count the atoms of the universe, then he could count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also, it was mentioned here, qualities. So one of the qualities we saw, the compassion. How much compassion Lord had and He has, especially we saw for Gajendra, that instantly He came. Now, one may wonder why He took 1,000 years. But that's because Gajendra also tried his own efforts. And that's what happens to us as well. We try with our own efforts. We should. At the same time, we should depend on Lord's mercy. As soon as we call out, the Lord is there. He's just ready to reciprocate, provided we just call out Him. And that's what happens. When the problem comes, we don't call out Him initially. We think that, okay, I will do it by myself. But instead, we should take the shelter in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end as well. And that's what happened with Prahlad Maharaj. He constantly remembered Lord. Doesn't matter what he went through. From the womb, from the beginning, he was remembering Lord. Parikshit Maharaj is another example. It's not that Parikshit Maharaj got the opportunity only at the end of the life, that 7 days left. No, he remembered Lord throughout, and that's why his name is Parikshit. He was inquiring, he was looking for that person who saved him in the mother's womb. And similarly, for us, all these we hear incarnations of Lord, especially going through the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, it is not possible that we will be able to comprehend each and everything. Rather, we should take it from a devotional perspective. Yes, we may have inquisitiveness or inquisitive mind, but we can just be satisfied. Because sometimes it is hard that we take other approach, we go on a research path. Better we avoid the research. That's what here this verse is saying. No one can count the atoms of the universe, nor can anyone count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. And here it is mentioned specifically, these are transcendental. The nature, the main theme of being transcendental is something which is beyond. Para and apara. Right? This is already beyond our comprehension. It's already beyond our limited 6 senses. We have these senses and they have a limitation. We commit mistake, we have tendency to cheat, we get illusion, right? So, this is already transcended. How much efforts we should put in these transcendental qualities? Rather, we take a devotional approach. We offer our prayers to Guru Parampara, to here Shri Gaurnitai, Radha Vallabh, Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra, that they engage us in the service, and through service we can realize a little bit, a glimpse of Lord's glories and His transcendental qualities. And that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. What He says in Bhagavad Gita, towards the end, when the whole Bhagavad Gita He has spoken to Arjuna, in the 18th chapter He says, what He says? Verse 55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. That one can understand as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. And this is the purpose of knowing the glories of Lord, knowing the incarnations of the Lord, that we want to enter into the kingdom of God. We want to go back, whether we are assistants in that pastime or whether we are doing some other service in the Vaikuntha atmosphere. And that's what Jaya Vijaya did. Jaya Vijaya, they desired that, instead of 7 lives, better we take 3 lives and we come back and reinstate ourselves in your service, eternal service, in our original position. And that's what the purpose here is, that we cannot count the unlimited or transcendental qualities of the Lord. Rather, we just take a devotional mood, service mood, and we try to reciprocate Lord. Another point here is, only those who rendered unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the Creator of the universe in his full glory, power and transcendence. This is in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse 38. So again, Krishna says, whatever he says in Bhagavad Gita, the same thing is repeated in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Again, the devotional service or devotion, the mood is given to us that better we focus on Krishna's incarnations from a devotional perspective, not from a research perspective that we can count. And from a different perspective, because recently I've been studying 5th canto, I mean just to give a little glimpse of this, how tiny it is. Like if you consider the universe, the whole universe, it says that it's 50 million yojana. Yeah, I'm sorry, 500 million yojana. That is 4 billion miles. That's the one layer. On the top, there are 10 times 10 layers. Some they say 7, some they say 8, some they say 10, depending on how you look it. But then it starts with the earth, water, fire, ether, air, false ego, etc. So these layers are 10 times the thickness of the previous layer. So in this way, if you put together, then the whole diameter of this one universe, our universe, is 10 to the power of 18. That is, that many yojanas. One yojana means miles, 8 miles. 8 miles, so that is equivalent to 13 kilometers. So consider this whole universe. Now it's just a tiny particle on the pore of the Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Karanadaksha Vishnu. Just a tiny little pore. Now consider multi-million universes like this are coming out every second and getting destroyed as well, as he breathes in and breathes out. Now how much? I mean, this is just a one universe. Here the verse was speaking about one universe. Even if one can count the atoms of the universe, consider, then one may just, accomplish this. Now if we go to, second universe, third universe, and these universes, our universes is the tiniest universes. Because Brahmaji has only 4 heads. But if you see the pastime of Lord Brahma, when he stole away the Gopa friends and cows, then Krishna showed him the whole, in the sense, the reality that, you are just a tiny little Brahma, but there are so many, numerous Brahmajis are there with multi-heads that represents that the universe is bigger than our universe. So the point is, we are very tiny, insignificant. And better we just accept that. We don't waste our time in counting the atoms in the universe. Rather, we utilize our time, our energy in doing some devotional service to the Lord in the association of devotees, so that we will have an opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead in this life. So I stop here. It's nearly 8:30. If anyone has any, of course we have Prabhu, Anirudh Prabhu, if you like to add something. Right? No? Any other comments or questions or clarification or correction?
Maybe better for online, please. Online. Yes. You know, in online,
Thank
the
you,
answer comes, but the question doesn't come, and then it's like, okay, what was that?
Thank you, Prabhu, for nice class. As you mentioned that whatever the situation, difficulty comes, we should take shelter of Lord. And this is what the Gajendra did. So I'm wondering like how to really take shelter of Lord without becoming effortless. Or without, let's say now any situation, any problem came, and now I'm taking shelter of Lord. Like I have come close to the Lord. Now I'm chanting my round and reading scriptures, having prasadam. So that way we can take shelter of Lord. But that situation also warrants certain actions, some purusar, some effort. So how to reconcile it? Like because even though we have to take shelter of Lord, we have to put some effort. So how we can reconcile these two situations? That while taking shelter, I don't become effortless.
You don't become lazy. Right?
Yeah, don't become lazy or don't act on that situation.
Yeah. You do your
problem,
duties.
thinking that now I have taken shelter of Lord, Lord will protect me, or Lord will overcome it for me. So how to apply it practically in our life?
There are many ways we can answer, but at this stage, what I can think of is your intention, your mood, internal mood, whether on whose strength you are going to face these difficulties. Is it your strength, or is it the strength or intelligence or arrangement of the Lord? Now the same thing happened to Arjuna. Arjuna, of course, is fighting the war, but then before that he took the shelter of Krishna. Because when Duryodhana approached and Arjuna also approached on behalf of Yudhishthira Maharaj, oh, the war is happening, I wish you take my side. Duryodhana is saying, no, I wish you take my side. Krishna settled the deal that, okay, one side is my army, the other side is myself. Without any weapons, I'm not going to fight. Now Duryodhana straight away, he put his intelligence, he thought, oh yes, great, army. And Krishna's army, no one can defeat. So I choose that. Whereas Arjuna, as soon as that opportunity came, he chose, no, Krishna, I only want you. And now he is speaking on behalf of Yudhishthira Maharaj because he is coming as a representative. But in the instant moment, he has to take a decision, even on behalf of Yudhishthira Maharaj. But he knows the mood and intention of Yudhishthira Maharaj, that Yudhishthira Maharaj would also wish Krishna in his side. The same way I personally also wish Krishna as my side, regardless whether he has his army or not, regardless whether he will put efforts in fighting the war or not, doesn't matter. As long as Krishna is in my side, that's fine. So, and then we see the result. The whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken, that is transcendental. The message is given to Arjuna, so fortunate. And then finally who won? The Sanjaya says, Yatra Yogeshwara, that wherever Krishna, wherever Arjuna, victory is certainly there. So it's the same way, when the difficulty comes, whom we are thinking first? Whether we are depending on, because it will come. This is the nature of difficulty. Dukkhalam ashashvatam. This is the nature of this material world, that miseries will come. But the internal mood, of course we still have to, it's not that Arjuna didn't fight. He had to carry out his duty, he had to fight. But the dependency was on Krishna, and that's why Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. So when the difficulty comes, the best thing we can think is, we chant Hare Krishna in the beginning, throughout the misery, and in the end as well. That's one way we can answer. The second way we can see is Brahmaji. When
The second example we have is Brahmaji. When Brahmaji appeared, he was perplexed. And then he was wondering, who am I, what's the purpose of my existence? But then he also looked for the source. And then he heard tapa. And then he meditated. And then he had a darshan. And then also throughout the whole Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, different sections, we see that the devotees will take, first thing they will think of is Krishna. And then they will go through the difficulties. Even the Gajendra, he didn't pray, even when he realized, he didn't pray. Initially it says that he prayed for the deliverance from a bodily perspective, but then the mood was that deliverance from this material existence. So that's how we can approach the difficulties, whom we are taking the shelter. Yeah.
So nice. So thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how Lord Krishna's opulences are unlimited, and even like Ananta Shesh with his millions of hoods cannot even describe them in full. And we also in Brahma Samhita read when Brahma says Achintya Guna Sarupan, which means that his attributes are inconceivable and innumerable. But we see in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami says that Krishna's 64 qualities are exhibited in full. So how do we understand these 2 points?
Sorry, I'm trying to understand your question. So one side is that we discuss about the unlimited qualities and incarnations, etc. The other side, you are saying that in Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami says about?
That Krishna has 64 qualities which are exhibited in full.
Yeah, exhibited in full.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand the question. What is the
One
question?
side we say that he has unlimited opulences. And
I see. And then the second side we are defining, or we are giving the number. Like we are saying only 64 instead of unlimited, right? That's what you mean? I mean, yeah, this is... Sorry, Prabhu. That's true. There you go. It's answer. Unlimited 64. Yeah, I mean, even if we see from these incarnations, we are given through Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, there are 6 incarnations, 6 categories of incarnations, Purusha, Leela. But does it mean that really all the incarnations fit only this category? No, Krishna is unlimited for our limited intelligence, mind and feelings. Okay, at least we focus on 64 qualities, and then we will know more later on, maybe when we go back home, you know. That's how I see. Yeah, but interesting question, very nice. Wow, you comprehend so nicely, very nice. Okay, if no other, yeah, who? Sorry, proceed, yes?
The 64 qualities are shared by even the living entities, right? So these are characteristics that are found in almost every living entity up to a certain percentage, but then the 64 qualities are especially the 4 that distinguish Krishna from everybody else, right? And all of the other incarnations as well, right? So we can understand Krishna in terms of unlimited, in that his expansions are unlimited, right? But they share those qualities as well. So they're kind of not, they're not
opposing.
They're not related to each other.
Yeah.
They're complementary to each other. So we can appreciate Krishna's unlimited characteristics, but those 64 items are qualities that we see, well, at least 60 we see in the Vishnu Tattva. And then there's 80%, 78 or so, I can't remember the exact percentages that are mentioned by Rupa Goswami, of qualities that even the living entities manifest. Even we share, right? So it's a way of looking at the characteristics of the living entities and of the demigods and of the Vishnu Tattva, etc. But not really related to unlimited expansions of Krishna's incarnations. So, you know, the Goswamis have analysed, or even, I suspect, I don't know, but Rupa Goswami must have got this from somewhere, right? And it may even be mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion, the reference to where it's coming from. As a means of understanding or categorising the character of Krishna, and the living entities too, for that matter, and his expansions. So that's where that analysis helps us to understand the personality, right? And the unlimited bit is all of the different expansions and all of the different pastimes and so many. So there's a consistency, right, in analysing personality and the personality of Krishna as superlative or above everybody else.
Jai, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah? Okay then, Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Jai.